Presgrove Case once again as a live stream. Hopefully the audio and quality is relatively okay. Do have a secondary device today to kind of show you, hopefully it's clear enough visually, or at least audio based. I can put the speaker close to it. I'm doing it as a live stream just to see what people's live reactions are. And I don't want it to be like a super focus on like my channel as in normal videos, because yes, who it links to, it's relevant to the case to some extent, but is it all about the case and does it all link to Noah's death? No, but maybe it links more so to the attitudes of different party goers, if that makes sense. How certain party goers or certain parents, family members of party goers, etc. I'm going to share that with you today best I can, and hopefully it's clear enough as well. The device here, I'll try and show it to the screen horizontally like that or something. Nice little reflection then. You can see the scenery outside with the trees as well in the distance. We've got Badger Life, welcome. Wow, it went from 1 to 10 people instant. Wow, that's quite interesting that. I will allow at least maybe 15 to 20 people to join on in, and then I can begin. I do have some other little bullet points to go through, and of course anyone else can share their thoughts, opinions and reactions in the case. Anything you'd like to add on. I'd also like to give just a small little disclaimer in regard to the video earlier. There can be a follow-up to that, and maybe I can give a bit of an update here as well, but I'll just do it as a video as well, because, you know, what's covered at the time is covered, but of course if there's any updates or from different points of views, then that needs to be acknowledged as well. Try and cover it from all sides when possible, right? It's quite interesting because depending on where things are heading, there was that great focus of labels on me: dark side, paid off, evil, one-sided. But a little bit more in recent time, I've edged back elsewhere looking at it. It just depends what there is to cover in the moment, right? Just acknowledge those that have joined on in. Of course, we've got Badger showing up first. That's good to see. Shout out. Rebecca, hi there, welcome. We've got Tina returning back. Tina Bolton from Michigan. Nice. Michael Facecast as well. Michael says, if this video is about Mike Johnson's post, I'm going to read my comment on the Army page about it. No, in terms of the updated video as a proper video, so it will receive more reach, so more people will see it, I'm going to do it as a standard one tomorrow. This right now is like live discussions on the case in general, alternative theories, including the teabagging one. No demonstration today, just going into the possibilities of it, possibilities of different types of accidents, if that's the case, where my thoughts are at with the case as well. The concept of an accident, how some people will expect answers or those to speak up, but giving my perspective of why people wouldn't. And then one of the more heavier focuses is to do with Caden's supposed mother, Alicia Lee, supposedly caught on camera doing bad things. And I'm going to use supposedly. What I do want to say right now, if anyone wants to clip things here and there, if you're able to clip even what I'm about to say, you can clip. The possibilities that, who knows, this live stream might be taken down. This live stream may be falsely reported. This live stream may be taken down by YouTube because of the themes, because of what we're looking at today. And I might use the most appropriate language as best as I can and just share what's available and what's public, right? And those that I've given consent to do like an audio recording and then pass their point of view on publicly, it could go wrong. The live stream could get taken down. I'm thinking worst case scenario. I'm predicting ahead because I've been screwed over enough. My videos on my channel have been taken down here and there unjustly. The last video that was falsely taken down, even though it was JJ Bumpaz that gave full consent himself for his full phone number to be public in the first place, to use that and to compare to Alicia, in which Alicia said, well, at 10:59 on Monday, the day of Noah's death, I didn't call JJ, I called my mother-in-law or something. Mother-in-law's final 4 digits of a phone number do not match what's on the call log. The call log matches JJ's phone number. So Alicia outright lied there. Maybe it's no big deal. Maybe Alicia was just trying to contact JJ because of the lake trip visit by Caden. Couldn't get through to her son, phone maybe turned off, whatever. Thought contact JJ, he may know. If Caden's meeting up with JJ, just check on in, see if they're okay. Harmless, yeah, could be harmless. No need to lie about it in the first place. It just adds mystery, it adds depth. They don't do themselves any favors. That video was taken down by YouTube, no warning, outright taken down. Made an appeal, didn't even give me a chance to explain, provide links, provide anything whatsoever. It just said make an appeal, and then they would review the video. And of course, no changes were made to the video. I just thought I could actually explain myself as to why that was done, but YouTube instantly denied it, instantly screwed me over, and it was one big waste of time. I probably do need to try and do the video again in a more controlled way, maybe blur out half of the final 4 digits, or blur out just JJ's phone number and leave the 4 digits remaining, possibly, and go from there. It's an important video, and it was taken down by YouTube, needs to be re-uploaded and maybe adjusted. We'll see. If you do hear any background sound, that's just strangers over there, window open, people outside. Not much I can do about that. Welcome to anyone else that has joined along, including, we've got George Choden, we've got Robbie Taylor, welcome, we've got Joyce Bergow, Awesome Destroyer. Bro Raff, some other YouTuber I saw called you stupid for thinking something was under the rock involving the Kenny Veach case and claimed he knew where Kenny was and that it was an idiotic person. Some other YouTuber, is that so? Awesome Destroyer? This so-called other YouTuber, what name? Are they a big channel? Are they a nobody? I mean, at the time, I mean, it was SB Vegas Adventures that pointed it out in the first place. And then I said, well, do you know what? I'll just do a little analysis, try and work out why it could be under the rock. Does it share any resemblance to vegetation stuff caught, which creates movement, which creates an illusion of something else, which it's not, like the keyhole? But, you know, maybe other people didn't see it that way. And they thought, oh, really reaching, clutching at straws. Awesome Destroyer, a decent-sized channel with people hating on him. Are people hating on him because he's hating on me, or does this YouTuber have a bad reputation in the first place? I mean, you might as well drop the username down below. Could take a look, see if I'm familiar with the person, if I've come across them before, any run-ins. He said he don't care if he gets cancelled and that everyone looking for Kenny is dumb. Well, with that reckless mentality, they don't really serve much purpose then in the case, because if you're willing to go completely reckless at the cost of your own channel, at the cost of your own hard work and research, it screws everybody else over because it will get taken down or knock-on effect. Dylan Round's case, people, unsavory characters at times did very important interviews with certain family members, very important. All the other stuff might have been unnecessary, caused issues, backlash along the way, but at the end of the day, because of other issues and channel being reported, their channel was completely shut down and all the videos were taken down as well because the channel deleted and all that research lost. Same elsewhere and elsewhere. Awesome Destroyer, Driven X Adventure. Ah, that one. Yeah, I don't look at it much, but I'm aware of Driven X Adventure. Seen them up and coming. Done a few little hikes out there, of course. Gained quite a bit of traction, maybe 200,000 views on some of the videos, which to some extent is to be expected, you know, exploring to do with Kenny Veach. Yeah, people will obviously follow along. But the thing is, with Driven X Adventure, had a few clashes with Jeff Clark or some others, as in reasoning ability, and Driven X maybe going off the grid, not quite literally, but in terms of thoughts and ideas, because I think Driven X may have been doing some video saying, this is it, these are the answers. Kenny Veach, camping spot found, something found, you know, like that. I said, not been following it because I've been too zoned in with true crime, Noah Presgrove. Who else do we have? We've got Strawberry. Welcome back, my Strawberry. Hopefully you're okay. It's been a bloody hot day. I'm wearing something different today, which I've not worn before. It might not show on camera. I was expecting it to be a bit bigger, but it's quite tight on me. So it's a bit counterproductive in a way. But it's a bit too late now to change. I'm not going to be doing a change like I did last time around. But I might have to cover myself up if I do put the light on. Badger, it's a fact there are far more crap channels that make no sense out there, so when RAF comes along and it's all under control, they attack. And I'll tell you something, Badger Life, I did do an experimentation in which I tried comparing and contrasting, as in when I respond back against attacks and drama and I get involved, not involved in drama, but involved in defending myself full on the overkill mode in the past. And for some, it worked. Other people said it didn't work, but I was still hit. And then ever since, I've not done that. I've done the opposite for most part of it. I've kept my head down. I've carried on. Have I benefited by keeping my head down? No. I've not benefited. And it's not stopped the attacks either. So it goes to show, at least from my reality, if I defend myself, it is what it is. If I don't defend myself and I do nothing, not much change, but there is still the chance that something could go wrong or it could compile and get worse, depending on what's addressed and what isn't. We've got 21 people watching right now, present, welcome. I do have some bullet points, and in terms of the order of how it is, first one is to do with the accident. Someone should have spoken up. I'll just address that quickly because it was a post on Facebook. I want to give my counterpoint to that. And then the next bullet point is to do with Caden's ex-girlfriend, audio recording, speaking out, I believe, against Alicia Lee, and some of the mentions of car racing and pinning her down or something physically in the past. Sounds quite shocking. I want to use the word supposedly just for now, right? Make it clear as we go along, and some of the loose points too. We got Linda. Welcome, Linda, from Sweden. Good to see. Welcome, Strawberry. I did say that before, Strawberry, but I don't know if you saw my response, so I'm just saying it again. Hi there, Strawberry. I need to see what battery percentage my phone is on. Should be okay. But in terms of an accident in regard to Noah Presgrove, if it was an accident and someone else was unfortunately involved, would you expect them to speak up by now, or at least earlier on? If someone like Chris Pyatt, who has no involvement in Noah's death from the looks of it, but felt responsible or could be responsible because he hit something and he wasn't too sure at the time and he owned up to it really quick. Person with a conscience, putting Noah first before himself, even if it means getting in trouble somehow. Didn't get in trouble because it didn't link to Noah, but, you know, an accident, an unfortunate event, what he felt, what he was thinking at the time, reached out to police, did the right thing, and then was cleared afterwards, supposedly. Well, if somebody else, like a party goer, is involved in the outcome of Noah Presgrove accident, should someone speak out? Well, one counterpoint as to why a person or people wouldn't speak out is because they feel maybe their life is over anyway. So what's the point? If they're selfish, they might put themselves first above justice for Noah and continue on in life, whether they've got a conscience or not. Could eat them up down the line. They could crack eventually, maybe. Kind of happened with Brenner to an extent in the Dylan Brown's case, and he was extremely cold and stubborn. But welcome, Carl. The other aspect you could look at would be an accident-based death, and the people involved in the accident are completely oblivious to what they've been caught up with Noah, because he had no clue whatsoever. And how would that even be possible? Example being if Noah had walked away from the party, got into the bed of a pickup truck in the dark to rest his head, passed out because of being drunk or heavy sleeping, resting. Some Texas boys leave shortly afterwards, or a Texas boy doesn't check the bed back of the truck, gets on into the vehicle, drives on down the highway north, and then at some point, due to noise or movement or a combination, Noah Presgrove is awoken, wakes up, stands up off balance, disorientated, not quite there with it, movement, motion in the vehicle, ends up swaying and falling out, shorts catch on the side, pull off him, he falls, lands on the ground, bounces a few times, and ends up along the side of the hard shoulder, first impact being with the head, possibly instant death, maybe. Shorts shortly blow off in the wind because they're loose, dangling, and then collect in the middle of the roadway, maybe. And all whilst that's going on, the driver and or passenger, whatever, they're completely unaware because they never knew Noah was in the bed of the pickup. And in terms of the noise, I don't think there'd be too much noise. And as well, if a radio was on in the vehicle, it might have blurred out certain noises by Noah. It depends how long Noah was stood up for in the back of the pickup before possibly falling out. It's a theory, but it's a theory as in it can be accidental, and the people kind of involved, the driver and or passenger, they're not going to speak out, they're not going to own up because they don't feel responsible, because they have no clue that they're even involved in the first place, because they didn't even know Noah was in the back of the pickup. So that's why some may not speak up, because they genuinely believe they're not responsible. A quick little drink. Twilight, we are unaware of exactly what happened. We guesstimate and theorize. And as long as you give a theory an idea, that's fine. Doesn't lead to any trouble. But there'll be people out there that won't theorize, or they'll make an attempt, but they will word it as a fact and not as an idea. What I'm going to do now, because there's a handful of people present and the title of the video, I'm going to just load up the other device as it's just turning on, okay? And I'm going to try and play the videos. Maybe I can play to you the audio first with a bit of backstory, and then the short little clips. Maybe rewind, fast forward. Don't know if the aspect ratio will be good enough, but you know, it's better than nothing. I didn't want it to overtake my normal videos because it's not super linkable to the death of Noah. It's not with that. Just want to give a disclaimer. What I'm going to share with you, it's not linked to Noah's death, but it is linked to people in terms of their past history, I think, before the party. And if not, after the party, as in it shows certain personality types within people. And if they've got a certain negative outlook on the party, the social hosting, are they in a position to be talking in the first place if they've done it themselves, or if they've done other actions which could be looked down upon, right? Look, people were quick in the early days to jump on Caleb Newton and the 2020 Warwick boating accident. I did it in a balanced way. I got silenced for it because that video was falsely taken down. The Caleb Newton statement from his Facebook post online was taken down from a channel without my consent. It was just falsely reported. And then the video about, Jack Newton, about 5:53 in the morning, or something to do with Caden, that was taken down as well. 3 videos falsely taken down, falsely reported, took 4 to 6 months until they were actually taken down out of nowhere, stripped from me. Had no chance to defend myself. Pathetic, incompetent, and useless. Right, so we just make sure everything is sorted on this device whilst I'm doing it. And now the second device, I am not a private investigator. I'm not a Kathy Bingham in disguise. It's just an old device which I can use temporarily, because what I'll try and do in the future, if possible, if there is some kind of like support on the channel to some extent, as like in the past, that can be put towards maybe upgrading the channel or certain equipment, right? So then a different device, a bigger device, could be used to either live stream on, or just used to look at whilst doing the live stream, look at the live chat on a different screen. Where's my member? You mean membership? Well, gifted membership is at random. And gifted memberships, as in the channel owner itself, you get about 10 per month. Wish there was an option to select who you can give it to, because there's some people very deserving of it and they don't always get the chance to get it. Sometimes gifted membership can go to people that are lurking in the background watching. It's one way to expose people that may be stalking you. It happened in the past, Dylan Round's case. You had people giving lots of gifted memberships on my channel. It was causing the stream or the premiere to lag. But you know, in the end, people were doing it to try and expose others. Awesome Destroyer. Is it worth it? Well, the concept of gifted membership, and as in what you get, it's one way of supporting the channel in a smaller scale way. Second of all, you get an exclusive badge next to the username, which was created by me. And then you get access to member-only custom emojis, in which some have been shown in chat here and there, and priority in terms of responses. It is what it is. If you want to be a member, you can. If you don't want to be a member, that's fine. Oh, Bergow. 3 months, yay. So a bit of coincidence popping up that banner. That's good to see. Shout out to Joyce Bergow. Right, where is it on? The Justice page, I think it is. Right, there we go. Right, okay, so if I play that, how long is that? God, is it only for like 40 seconds?
Sometimes and like sit there and watch us. Like, I have a video of his mom.
Okay, sounds like my Valley Girl impression. No, but this is serious, this, of course. Right, is there any way to enlarge the screen? Maybe not. So, don't know if you can see. The thing is, because with the screen being black, I don't want bloody reflections all over the place. I'm being cautious, okay? So you see that there, the bars, that's like an audio message, which was either sent on Facebook or somewhere, then reposted on Reddit, the review page. It was there for some months. I never touched it because I felt it wasn't strong enough at the time, and it wasn't directly linked to the death of Noah, but it's come about on the ARC page, more public, a bit more out there now, building a bit of traction. I thought, you know what, I'll just give it a bit of a cover, see what you think about it, because I know not everyone would have seen it. Let me just catch up with the comments before I go any further. We got Mia Maven, welcome. Carl, hey Strawberry, can you explain your other emoji? So Carl, if you're referring to the skull emoji, that's on the right side of the strawberry emoji. The strawberry emoji is just a general custom one, which anyone has access to because it's a part of the default keyboard on devices, computer, mobile, whatever it is. Depending on what operating system you have, the emoji symbol could look different, but the skull emoji, Carl, is to do with the channel membership, and it will vary from color to color and visual depending on how long you're a member for on the channel. What else do we have? We've got Coco Gemini. George, Ref, there's an additional document you might find interesting, and even though unrelated to Noah's case, it provides a lot of insight into certain people's behavior in the case today. Okay. I do need to catch up on some of the screenshots in between. I need to do a bulk video on that. Then I need to finish off and continue with the Caden Pressy Never Seen Before text, in which I summarize on my channel with bullet points. I still need to finish off with that as well. There's a lot to do, but I'll eventually get there. In between, been doing some other things, and then been fitting in some more live streams than usual. With that being said, I'm gonna play to you the audio right now. I'm gonna put it kind of there in the center, because I know there's a microphone on the right and then there's a microphone on the left, and if I center it in the middle, it should be clear enough, hopefully. I'll play it once, feel free to listen in, and then if you didn't hear it, I'll turn the volume up and then we'll try it again. In terms of context, the voice, what you're gonna hear, is one of Caden Pressy's ex-girlfriend, about speaking from what she's witnessed and what she knows of in regard to Alicia Lee, and it's not exactly positive. Okay, so supposedly, let's just put it that way, just to be safe. Right, from the start, I'll just play it now. I'll try and listen in myself to interpret.
His mom also came to the parking lot parties sometimes and like sit there and watch us. Like I have a video of his mom racing this one kid in her Camaro. I think I can try to find it and send it to you if it has anything to do with that. But like she would come and race us in the parking lots and stuff and watch us. And then she would provide alcohol for Caden. Her brother, or Caden's brother, Chandler, would buy alcohol for Caden all the time for us to drink and stuff. I don't know. I'll go find that video right now of Alicia racing us in the parking lot.
Okay. So let me know if you heard that clear. I'll play it back again and I might pause it in between. We've got Strawberry, just working, not long finished. Oh, okay. Well, at least you're able to show up on the live. I did do a video earlier, Strawberry as well, did too. Okay. So anyone watching, present, let me know your thoughts of that audio. Did you hear it? Linda says perfect, so I guess the audio quality was good enough, which is a positive. Probably clearer than my voice. Carl, surprised to say that Kenny could be alive and that he wanted to disappear from the stresses of life. I don't agree with the lady who said he was suicidal and depressed. I mean, not completely denying or downplaying it. There could well be depressed or was depressed or to some extent. But based on Kenny Veach's creativity and his outlook on life with his post on and off with time, and even when things were getting a bit tough and difficult, he was thinking of alternative ways to try and what other ways? Other ways to try and keep on going and maintain his house. Raf, I'll watch them early hours. Yeah, it's only just one video. It's just the one public on my channel. As for the other video, you know, the other one, whenever possible. I know it's like 2 hours long, the other one, but you know, is what it is. So I'm just gonna play that audio one more time and pause it here and there when I feel the need to. Chandler's name was mentioned, which is very interesting because I did have a run-in with Chandler Pressy, Caden's brother, on my channel in the past. And it was a little bit defensive. Mia says, I don't believe Sharon Pilgrim's statement at all. Fair enough. Right, back to the top. Turn the volume up just a little bit more.
His mom also came to the parking lot parties.
So that's Caden Pressy's girlfriend at the time, ex-girlfriend now, said she would come to the parking lot parties more than one. So more than once. Was Caden Pressy actually there though? You'd expect so. This is Caden's ex-girlfriend, at the time girlfriend. Caden and girlfriend hanging out together at a party would make sense. Parking lot, well, Caden Pressy did mention in the past on Partisan True Crime, when back in the past when he knew of these party goers and the girls, even though in part 2, Partisan True Crime, he said, I've never known these girls before, I've never been to this house before. Yet in part 1 he said, I know of these people, I know the girls, we all met out, hung out in car parking lots in the past and we would drink and get drunk. Is that when Alicia was present as well? Or later? Who knows? We'll just play it one more time, just a little bit.
His mom also came to the parking lot parties sometimes and like sit there and watch us. Like I have a video of his mom racing this one kid in her Camaro.
Now, how old was that kid? Old enough to drive, maybe. Alicia coming along to sit and watch. Why? To look over Caden Pressey? Is it only when Caden Pressey's there that's why Alicia tags along, just to make sure Caden's safe? At what age? What year was it? As for context, if George or anyone else can provide a little bit of context in regard to that racing in the Camaro. That Camaro, is that the same one that came up in conversation when trying to figure out, was it Melissa, was it Alicia, was it the Camaro of Alicia's or somebody else's that was driving? Can't be a Camaro SUV because it wasn't released in line for the general public use at the time, so it must have been Melissa's car. It was just like little cross references there. But then again, Camaro, you get different models, but I think it was described as an SUV of some sort, which was used on the highway to pick up Georgia in that sense, which would have been Melissa's, a different branded vehicle. But different parties, you'd think Caden's there for Alicia to be there as well. Where Caden goes, does Alicia follow? Similar to when Caden Pressey was coming by, was it Noah's house or one of Noah Presgrove's family members' house? And Deborah Smith was there, Robin Smith, Ashley Chadwick, maybe Robin Smith, did I mention that? Deborah, Robin and Ashley were there. Caden tagged along, didn't know that we're doing a live stream with one crime at a time on TikTok live. And Caden was just delivering stuff off and ended up finding out, got involved in a bloody live stream. And then Alicia was involved in the live stream as well. I don't know if Alicia was on camera because the actual live stream was taken down, removed. Supposedly general public got a bit annoyed with it because they were supposedly drunk and Caden was there like the odd one out, the only male, as the other women were drunk. And some saw it as disrespectful. Caden Pressey caught up within it all, unfortunate, but Alicia was supposedly there. What do we have? I think I might have to leave chat and watch the video. I can't multitask. Rebecca, live right now? Yes, Rebecca. Hopefully it's loud enough. Okay. What? If anyone has joined late, I can play it to you, Rebecca. We're looking at some audio to do with Caden Pressey's ex-girlfriend calling out Alicia Lee, Caden's mom. Calling out in a super negative way, but at least just with the bit of audio that's present. I can't remember if there was a bit more like additional audio on top, but I'm just, working with what I've got and what's present. We've got the visual stuff of the racing and the physicality aspect, but just as a heads up to be clear and just careful. As for facial identification, that's not present, right? Voice-wise, you might pick up on that. That's about it. So it's what Ken Pressey's ex-girlfriend is supposedly claiming, and I'm just saying it that way. So hopefully this live stream remains up, because as you know, YouTube and people out there want to take my videos down. And in the past, Alicia Lee wanted a call to arms for my videos to be reported and taken down from YouTube, and so on. 4 videos have already been taken down. Who knows what else could go wrong? So just continue.
Camaro. I think I can try to find it and send it to you if it has anything to do with that. But like, she would come and race us in the parking lots and stuff and watch us, and then she would provide alcohol for Caden, her brother.
Provide alcohol for Caden. Multiple parties attended car park lot. At what point in time was this? When Caden was 19, 18 or younger? Because if it's before Caden turned 21, I can't remember what age he is right now. Lots of love, Strawberry. We'll check there. Sorry about that, Strawberry. I don't know if you can see Strawberry, but I'm wearing something different today. Well, tonight. It's really important, this part, actually, if you're focusing on it. Because if this is before before Caden's 21, 20, 19, 18, and anything before that. It's not a party. Maybe you can't say social hosting is being broken, but you've got an adult supplying an underage person under the legal drinking age drinking alcohol, supposedly. Yes, it's the mother and it's the son. There's it probably happens maybe quite a lot in life, and it is what it is. No big deal if there's a parent, a responsible guardian about and distributing it. Is your top sheer or no sleeves? I need to see if there's no one about. Basically, it's like that. I'm not going to do anymore because it's a bit dodgy, to be honest. We've got Classy, welcome, Classy, the horse whisperer. Mia, interesting how videos are targeted. Could it, because there was an element of truth? You never know. Carl, I've been so blessed by all your accents and light-hearted commentary. I've seriously laughed a lot. Well, that's good to know, Carl. Glad you've enjoyed the videos. I'm going to try and do some light-hearted ones here and there. Might try one tomorrow. Did you get a decent look, Strawberry? It's a little bit tight. The problem is on the armpit area, if I tugged it along just the side, it would pop my nipple out, and I don't think that's appropriate for, you know, this situation. Really important though, this part.
Race us in the parking lots and stuff and watch us. And then she would provide alcohol for Caden. Her brother, or Caden's brother, Chandler, would buy alcohol for Caden all the time for us to drink.
There's a bit of a twist down words.
Her brother, or Caden's brother, Chandler, provide alcohol for Caden.
Oh no. Is there anything I can do, Strawberry? Do you want me to hold you? Strawberry, I'll hold you. You just wait there, okay? Is that a little bit better? Just stay still. Breathe nice and slowly, okay? There you go. I'll probably get accused of taking steroids or something. Probably see like certain marks and think, oh my God, are they needle points? No. Could be freckles. Right, so there's a bit of a crossover between first mentioning Caden's mom, Alicia, supplying alcohol, and then transition on over to Caden's brother. Does she mean both names, or does she meant to say one over the other?
And watch us. And then she would provide alcohol for Caden. Her brother, or Caden's brother, Chandler, would buy alcohol for Caden all the time.
So it seems like Alicia and Caden's brother would supply alcohol to Caden specifically. But what about any other people about? Doesn't seem to be the case. Oh my God, the phone's rotating all over the place.
She would provide alcohol for Caden. Her brother, or Caden's brother, Chandler, would buy alcohol for Caden all the time for us to drink and stuff.
For us to drink.
I don't know. I'm on that video right now of
a little bit here and there, as in, Caden's mom would buy alcohol for Caden, and was it and or no? I meant to say it could be both individuals, both Caden's mom, Caden's brother, get alcohol for Caden, and then she said, and alcohol for us. Was the main intent for Alicia and maybe the brother to Caden to give the alcohol to Caden specifically and only Caden, but there must have been enough volume in order for us, as in how the girlfriend says, for others. At the end of the day, even if it's just for Caden, underage, supposedly. That's so, Strawberry. You are as well. Very, very. Well, that's irresponsible if they're underage. That's how it comes across, supposedly. Caden's ex-girlfriend claiming that Alicia, Caden's mom, has supplied Caden Pressey alcohol and Caden's brother. And the girlfriend words it as us, as in we had alcohol as well, whether that was directly meant from Alicia and the brother, or us, as in the rest, got a hold of Caden's alcohol, which was given to him, and then shared it about. Still, even if it's just for Caden, Caden's supposedly underage at the time. Does it really matter? Did it lead to a death? No. Is it quite social hosting? No. But then again, it's a party, isn't it? But would Alicia be the host of the party? No, because you don't own the parking lot, and you may have not created the party in the first place. You just tagged along. So maybe social hosting isn't quite broken in that sense, but still, underage drinking and how an adult, fully grown person supplies it to someone who's underage doesn't look good. But is there a level of leniency there? As bad as and shocking as it may sound, what Alicia has supposedly done, supplying alcohol to underage people, who else has done that as well? Well, from what Joyce Bergow said, Jen Zakuda, and we won't go too far there because I'm sure I'll probably get told off again for mentioning the name, but supposedly Jen Zakuda supplied alcohol to an underage person or something in the past and got arrested for it. So has that happened to Alicia? Should that happen to Alicia as well? Is there some kind of understanding? What I would add in just myself is, to be fair, Alicia has been somewhat lenient right at the time of the party when Caden was there. And then Georgia showed up, who was, 16, 15, 17, whatever at this point. Underage, though, somewhat vulnerable individual. Present at a party with more male-dominated people and older age as well. Caden Pressey looking out for Georgia. Did Alicia bat an eyelid and think, oh my God, Georgia's there, right, we're going to pick her up right now because she shouldn't be there. There's alcohol present, supposedly, and it's just not a safe place. We need to act now before anything bad happens. What happens? Alicia's like, oh well, yeah, I put my trust in you, son, Caden. You can look out for her. That's good enough. I'll be relaxed about it. I'll turn a blind eye for now. And then later outraged because George is thrown up, right? She's thrown up, she's vulnerable, she's drunk. How could you do that, Caden? Or Caden, at least, not blaming Caden, but Caden, at least look out for her onwards. Just do that. An hour or so passes by, not going with Alicia's wishes. Then Alicia's like, come on, Caden, where are you? If you're not going to respond back, I'm going to contact Melissa, George's mom, and go from there. Took quite some time, enough push for action to finally be taken, meaning Alicia was very, very lenient about it all. Very lenient, as in what Alicia knew to some extent that there may have been alcohol and knew that Georgia, an underage vulnerable person, was there, but decided to turn a blind eye. Welcome to Daniel. You could put that argument across, but then to link it back to what Caden's ex-girlfriend had said about Alicia at parking lot parties and giving alcohol to Caden, maybe an underage at the time, and somehow others getting hold of it. In a way, for once, Alicia, to an extent, isn't too much of a hypocrite. Just a quick question, though, because I know other people have been very vocal. Anyone in chat right now, let me know. Has Alicia been vocal about social hosting law, social hosting charges? Signing the petition, along with Michael Facecast, Justin Roy. Let me know in the chat. Has Alicia Lee, also known as Alicia Pressey, Caden's mum, has she all been for justice, the social hosting laws being followed upon, the party host being charged and all of that? Does anyone know? Let me know in the chat if you do, because I want to follow it up with what I was going to say. But I just want to see what people know first of all, right? Hair's not too bad today considering how wet I got. I did do some exercise strawberry earlier. Mia, wow, horrid subpar parenting. Sounds like the kids were left to their own devices while intoxicated, which is a recipe for disaster. Of course you can say Alicia isn't the mum to Georgia, but still connected through family, so, and an adult, some kind of guardian, should know better. But I'm not seeing any responses yet. So what I would say is, based on what I know of, and it might be limited, I've not seen Alicia push for the social hosting myself. And if that's so, well, then it makes her a little bit more consistent. And the reason why I say that is because if Alicia has supplied alcohol to underage people in the past, she's in no position to be calling out those at the party that Noah attended at that house for supplying alcohol to underage people there. Because if she's done it herself, she should know when and when not to talk and actually understand it maybe from the perspective of Avery, Howard, and anyone else in between, right? But if you had someone like Jen Zakuda, who was like, the social hosting, Alcohol being supplied to younger people, how dare they do that? That's not good. And yet she herself has supplied it to an underage person in the past. And what was their response? Well, it's in the past, it's old news. Oh, downplaying. So if people have done it themselves, they're not in a position to be complaining about this particular party. That's what I'm trying to get at. So yeah, you can say it's shocking from Alicia, but if Alicia is so calm and somewhat lenient with the party and quite carefree, it might stem back something to do with how she is when she's at parties herself. Just so the link is there. Strawberry, your hair looks amazing, Raf. Appreciate that, Strawberry. Thank you. Your hair is beyond amazing itself. Both the texture, the shine, the flow to it, how incandescent it is. And that's sunset or moonrise, it will show. George Choden, Pam knows a thing or two about social hosting violations. Pam, what? Pam Feldman Garrison, the one that falsely accused Warlight Raff of riding a horse. An actual real horse. Okay. The only other bit that was interesting was the brother.
For Caden, Caden's brother, Chandler, would buy alcohol for Caden all the time for us to drink and stuff.
Arabian? The only Arabian horses here is Warlight Raff with the most stamina. Raff, you're so kind. Well, sometimes speaking the truth is kind, and there's a lot of truth to you, Strawberry, and it's all positive and good. I mean, I know it's a bit of a weird observation to say, Strawberry, but it's just me being honest, okay? And this stems back from the beginning and onwards. When I come across humans online, as example, and even on YouTube, some people I come across, I might get the concept or idea, do you know what? Good person, right? And then other times I might be like thinking, pending, not too sure. Then other times I think, yeah, that person's a tosser, that's a knobhead. Depends. Am I always right? No, but I'm 99.9% right. And at least from my experience, I don't analyze every single human. That's why the accuracy will be a bit higher. I know when to and when not, and when to keep the mouth shut. But like with you, Strawberry, just as an example, and I know other people would say, well, duh, Strawberry is very positive and good. But, you know, just from a holistic outlook in a balanced way from start till onwards, because it's limitless at the end of the day. Never sensed, never felt, and this is on the YouTube aspect, no darkness within you, nothing bad whatsoever. And I know people could say, well, duh, obviously, but you know, whenever you come across people online for the very first time, there might be caution, there might be wariness. There was no cautious, no wariness, just all positive towards Strawberry. Tim Daniel, yes, she made a big deal in the missing parts in True Crime about leaving Caden in jail to track him a lesson. There we go. So not so much about the social hosting aspect, but the son, you should know better. You should not be doing that, Caden. Tut, tut, tut. You're such a naughty boy. Oh, but by the way, I gave you some alcohol at other parties and you were underage as well. But we won't talk about that. That is very unfortunate. Do you know Tim Daniel? I keep almost saying Jack Daniel, but do you know Tim Daniel, the car racing, drag racing, pinning to the ground, supposedly Caden's girlfriend at the time? What year was that? Was that when Caden Pressey was underage? Right, do we have anything else? Yeah, so if Alicia is telling Caden off in the part 2 interview, which was never shown public, Caden was talking about how he was drinking alcohol or drunk, parked in a car parking lot to sleep it off. Not driving, but asleep. Police came along, found him. Caden was taken in for a day or so, or for a few hours. Got in trouble. Caden's since then hadn't done it. That was when Caden was around 18 or turned 18 years of age. That's why Caden was reluctant to give Noah Presgrove a ride home, because Caden didn't want to repeat that. But Caden was okay, as in what, being at a parking lot, hanging out with his girlfriend at the time and others, and Alicia supplying alcohol, but also Caden's brother, Chandler. And that's an interesting name. I don't know if anyone's heard of that name before.
Would buy alcohol for Caden all the time for us to drink and stuff. I don't know. I'll go find that.
Sorry.
Provide alcohol for Caden. Her brother, or Caden's brother, Chandler, would buy alcohol for Caden.
Caden's brother, Chandler Pressey, did the same thing as Alicia. How old is Chandler Pressey? I don't know. But let me tell you something. I came across Chandler Pressey on my channel only once, and they were somewhat defensive. One comment, quite defensive. Or they may have said a reply and saying, well, we appreciate you covering it, but lay off the other stuff. Lay off what exactly? In the early days when I did one of my first or earlier videos on Alicia Lee, at the time of when Alicia Lee had her face on her profile picture on YouTube, which was publicly visible for all to see at the time, I used that profile picture, thumbnail of my video, to make it relevant to what I was going to be talking about, something to do with Alicia Lee at the time, Caden's mum. As soon as that video was done, Caden Pressey's brother, Chandler Pressey, maybe with was it a Nissan GTR or some kind of racing car profile picture, left a comment on my channel and said, you need to back off or you need to not use photos of us. Photos of us. Well, I've not used a photo of Chandler, so I don't know what he's on about there. And I've only used, at the time, one photo of Alicia. Photos more than one. At the time, I used one. So why are they saying I'm using multiple? That's a false claim, right? So they were quite defensive early on. And maybe some people may say Alicia has been defensive at times. Bit tense, doesn't help. Can push people away, it can cause a bit of a divide in a way. Anything else to this?
Time for us to drink and stuff. I don't know. I'll go find that video right now of Alicia racing us in the parking lot.
Okay. So, there is the clip. Don't know if it shows. That one there. I'm going to try and get it up if I can. Is the reflection bad? Screen brightness? Is that okay? Can you see it? There's a glare on it. Oh my God. If I hold it, I know it's not the best, but if I hold it like that, so then it doesn't reflect too much. It is a vertical one. So, let's wait for the bastard train to pass by. Right, so probably can pause it in a second. That is a car parking lot somewhere. Is it Duncan? Comanche? Maybe? At some point in the past. Tim Daniel, it's the same work people who watch Departed on Snapchat and then later call for social hosting. Okay. Let me play this now. I don't know if the image may be flipped or reversed. That's what happens when I'm using the front-facing camera. Just want to let you know. I want to make sure it's clear enough. That guy in red said, my mom smoked it. Did well, dominated. Well, that's not Caden Pressey, is it? That person in red. That guy in red said, my mom. And what Caden Pressey's ex-girlfriend is saying is that Caden's mom in the Camaro was racing some kid. Now, which vehicle is which? There's like a white pickup and then there's a very sporty car. I'm guessing the very sporty car is the Camaro. I'd say, yeah. I'm not an expert on cars, just want to let you know. But that person in red is not Caden Pressey. So the only other person I can think of, would it be Chandler, Caden's brother? When he says, my mom smoked it, as in the Camaro. I thought I'd just mention that. Higher pitch voice as well, writing it back to the start. I'll just play it a few times. Bloody reflection. One more time. Yeah, that's not Caden Pressey, so it would have to be Chandler then. Can anyone confirm that? And the one that was recording that video, I'm guessing is Caden's girlfriend. I guess, because she's saying, oh, let me find the video of it, the video that she recorded. I'm being careful with language and wording. Other people have jumped on it in the past. Is it responsible, though, for someone like Alicia to be supposedly doing that? Drag racing other people, younger people? If everyone's above the correct age limit to be driving, and if no one was drunk at the time, then it should be okay. People could say it's a bit abstract. Mia, why is the mother racing and interacting with a bunch of teens? How embarrassing. Bad spot to be caught in. Yeah, there's for and against arguments, of course. All I would say is, as long as no one was drunk, and maybe they were drunk or drink driving, which would be a major problem. If Alicia was supplying alcohol to people there at that particular parking lot party at the time, then that's even more serious. But that's only if it did happen. I'm being careful with the wording, just want to be careful. If it's a situation where Caden's mum has shown up, no alcohol, supposedly, no one drunk and racing, are you breaking any laws? I'm not too familiar with the US laws in terms of drag racing in a car parking lot. Maybe it's not the correct thing you should be doing. Only cool moms race, as we know. Tim Daniel put themselves out there forcefully, inserted themselves in the case forcefully, and then complained when they're scrutinised. We've got Brenda. Hi there, Brenda. Hopefully you've seen the stuff earlier. Well, no, you wouldn't because you've only just come along. Maybe put it on rewind or we can bring it up again. But Tim Daniel, I just want your thoughts on this. And the same with George Sheridan. George Sheridan, Tim Daniel, hopefully you're listening right now. The last part of the clip where Alicia is racing and then the guy comments on his mum. Who is that? Oh shit, I've got the volume down. No, I don't. Yeah, I do. Why did I turn the volume down? Hold on. There. Just wait for the train to pass by because it's a bit too noisy at the moment. Better not be a goods train. That'll take bloody forever. It'll be like the US. Endless train. It's difficult to tell who it is. Whoever it is, it has to be, you know, related to the Pressy family, right? If this whole video, which Caden's girlfriend is talking about, Alicia in the Camaro on screen, that sporty car that zooms on, if that's Alicia in the Camaro, and that's what Caden's ex-girlfriend was saying, well then that guy in that red shirt that says, my mom, it's not Caden, but it's got to be someone related. Because if you're not related, why are you saying that's your mom? It doesn't quite make sense. What's that person doing outside? That person looks a bit drunk. Anyway, for a bit, so I'm thinking he wasn't. Chandler being married for a bit, so I'm thinking he wasn't there. So besides Caden Pressy, besides Chandler Pressy, what other Pressy male is somewhat related to say that's my mom? Look.
My mom smoked.
That guy in red, I know you can't see it on screen. That guy there says my mom, as in Alicia. So that guy, his mother is Alicia. But who is that? George Sheridan. If it's Caden's ex-girlfriend recording, well, Caden's probably there with her whilst the recording happened. You would think that boyfriend, girlfriend tagging along, making moments and memories makes total sense. Alicia showing up, the mother, some people could say, oh, the mother's crashing the party. Ooh, whatever. People may have different outlooks, whatever it is, where it is. But it makes more sense, at least, for Alicia to be at that party, providing Caden Pressy is there. You wouldn't expect Alicia to be at that party in the parking lot with underage kids and stuff if Caden was elsewhere. What I'm getting at is, if Alicia is protective of Caden or like hanging out, spending time, where Caden goes, the mother Alicia would follow, you would think. Unless Caden's girlfriend was out there and wanted to tag her, the mother wanted to tag along with Caden's girlfriend to spend some quality time. even though it might not be the most practical of environments. But you'd expect Caden to be there. I mean, my reasoning, George, Tim, is when Caden Pressey tagged along, unknown to him at the time, that TikTok live stream with Robin, Deborah, Ashley, Chadwick, One Crime at a Time. Caden Pressey was coming round to the household to drop something off, realised it was a live stream, stayed for it, and joined in the live stream on camera. Supposedly, Alicia joined in as well, but where was Alicia? Was she at home, elsewhere, and joined via mobile device, or was she around the corner parked up and then walked into the house and then appeared on camera? Does anyone know? Chandler married unless he brought his wife along with him, but who knows, right? Tee-hee. That's what George says. Keith, social hosting, I get it, but I can't see how Ellie can let this go without some accountability. Death occurred, it's law enforcement. Right. So, maybe we do a follow-up video, you know, where I do like a screenshot and just go back over it again besides a live stream, because maybe not everyone will see this. More people may see the normal video format, a bit more of a deeper analysis on screen, so you don't get the glare, you don't get the blur. I just wanted to try it as a live stream this time. I don't know, maybe next time, if the curtains were closed, if I was to shut the curtain, maybe you wouldn't get the reflection from elsewhere. I say it's the first time I'm doing it, so yeah, you got that guy that says his mom, Alicia, did well in the drag race, supposedly, but it's not Caden, and who knows if it's Chandler, but it's got to be someone then related to Alicia, right? George, who knows? Maybe even Dorothy was there also. Family affair, parking lot, hygiene. Oh, God. Right. The next clip, which I'll show you, which is supposedly of Alicia on top, supposedly, of Caden's girlfriend, for some reason. Alicia supposedly pinning down Caden's girlfriend at the time. Why? I don't know. There is some swearing. Not much you can do about that. Don't know if there's going to be much glare. In position. You ready?
Fucking let go! Let go of my fucking hair, bitch! Let go!
The person recording that, supposedly, because of the audio in the background, sounds like a male. He's like, no shot. So they find it amusing that a mother is pinning down a younger person. So who's that guy then? That guy is supposedly recording it. Makes sense to an extent, because if the Caden's girlfriend at the time was the one pinned down on the ground, then it would have to be somebody else recording it, right? She can't be recording it because she's pinned on the ground. George says Caden apparently recorded it. And that's the problem. Apparently, supposedly. It's not said with absolute confidence or certainty. I know it is what it is, but that does not sound like Caden Pressey to me. But then again, how often have we heard Caden Pressey? Most of the time when Caden Pressey has spoken, it's been post-death of Noah and in interviews, sad times, right? All I would say is in that footage, you can't physically identify Alicia. People have said, it sounds like Alicia, it is Alicia, but we need to see the face, and there's no camera angles of it. I really hope I've got a question mark in the title. If not, I'll add that in afterwards, because honestly, whilst this was in the past, I held off from doing it because I just felt it was a bit weak. Just me, right? Of course, people don't have to believe in it. People can give counterpoints as well, right? But this ex-girlfriend of Caden, would anyone throw questions towards them and say it could be anyone pretending to be Caden's girlfriend? Just like people like to pretend that they're married to me over time. So, you know, depends how you look at it. You know, you could say that you're secretly a dog and you like dog food, but are you really a dog? George says there are some people who've witnessed Alicia attacking her own partner. Right. I'm going to play it again, the clip, just in case anyone didn't see it or you didn't hear it clear enough, and then maybe we can get a screenshot. Awesome Destroyer, are you really a dog? Ricky? Ooh, who's that? Where are you, Ricky? Not good enough, is it? Maybe Awesome Destroyer, you'll probably say, oh my God, Scooby-Doo, that shit. Can you not do any accents which are better? Well, if I'm a dog or not. I don't want to do it too much because people out there are going to think, what the fuck's going on in this house? Strawberry, we're married, aren't we, Ref? Oh, of course. Of course. Of course, Strawberry, we are. Very much so. Awesome Destroyer. Strawberry, is Velma and Raph Scooby confirmed? That's an insult. Now, I wouldn't say Strawberry is Velma, because how am I gonna finish that sentence off? I don't know how I'm gonna finish that sentence off. Strawberry, did you forget? No. Awesome Destroyer. Nah. I thought you were American. Too scared. God, that was high pressure. Switching drinks. Well, the thing is, Awesome Destroyer. Well, no, it can be in general, to be honest. Too scared for this, too scared for that. That's what some could say. But the absolute reality is, Strawberry is absolutely, categorically worth fighting for. Never once giving up on. For sure. Try the Sprite tea. It sounds... Sprite tea. Do I look like a tea... I'm not a tea drinker. Actually, I don't believe was a car racing gathering to watch over here. Son, what if I had other personal reasons? What I don't understand, to be honest. Let's just play the clip back one more time for anyone joining in. Time for a coffee. I'm watching whilst brewing. Enjoy the coffee. Me personally, I don't drink coffee. I don't drink tea. I only drink cold water. Or cold drinks in general.
Fucking let go! Let go of my fucking hair, bitch! Let go!
So you tell me, does that sound like Caden Pressey at the end, that voice? Oh, wrong. Wind it back a little bit more. Did it sound like him? A tea for me, please. Oh, is that so, Strawberry? You're asking somebody else to make a tea for you. Am I not good enough? George says, yep, it does. See, the thing is, I've not heard Caden Pressey talk in his normal voice. And when I say normal voice, I mean, you know, at a time of when it's not sad. If Caden was actually having fun. But then again, Strawberry, Raph, don't get jealous. Ooh. Well, you enjoy your tea, Strawberry. You let me know how it tastes. Re-listen to his OHP interview. I'll give it a try. I'm just trying to think of a more casual, semi-casual setting. Mia Maven, I'll pour it and Raph can serve it to his beauty. There you go. Big shout out to Mia. Has it all under control there. Knows the plan. What happened to Dylan Rounds? So Dylan Rounds, 28th of May, 2022, 6:51 in the morning, was going on down to the grain shed property where he would park his grain truck at in the shed because of rainfall and Gate was closed. 6:51, calls his grandmother Karen rounds to say what he's going to do, and he's going to call back later. 6:58 in the morning, calls Brenner, who's at the squatting at the property or living there on site, who has worked for Dylan in the past and ever since no longer. Called Brenner maybe to open the gate, did not answer. Dylan goes through the gate because it's flimsy wire. Drives on down. 7:03 is the next timestamp of Dylan's phone. In the process of parking the grain truck in the shed, which was successfully done, but it's questionable as to whether Dylan did it or Brenner afterwards when hiding stuff. After 7:03, the next timestamp was 7:27 in the morning, in which Brenner was in possession of the phone by then, and at a later point of April 9th, 2024, when Brenner accepted a plea deal and was guilty for it and revealed the location where he buried Dylan Rounds. Onwards after that point, documentation and files were revealed, which showed Brenner at 7:27 in the morning onwards. There was that time-lapse footage which was actually found. The phone was found at Dylan's in the pond, a Lucent Pond, June 19th or so, and it was November of 2022 when a deep forensic dive was done on Dylan's phone, and they ended up finding the footage, the 7:27 timestamp time-lapse video incriminating evidence showed Brenner cleaning a gun, which could have been the one to kill Dylan. Later down the line in court was shown that shot multiple times in the head, the skull area. Had blood of Dylan on his shirt, touch-based DNA as well. Dylan's boots behind the dirt pile, which Brenner moved, lied and said, I've not seen Dylan in 6 months, but obviously he did because it was on the day of the 28th. After 7:27, 7:43 after onwards was around the point of making it down to the farm where Dylan would work at, not live, but work at, and on and off, sleep here and there, doing whatever. Then 8:03 in the morning is when Brenner got back and then stayed there till, I think it was 2:51 in the morning onwards or so. No, 2:51 in the afternoon, 2:51 p.m. And then I believe it was, it's a bit of a rough one because it's from my memory, maybe 3:51 or something like that, where the final phone ping was at the pond where it was dumped in, and then Brenner went on to Don Hatley's place, his best friend, to hang out. Who knows if confessed or not. And on that day of the 28th, Dylan supposedly temporarily buried in the grain shed, then moved on afterwards, and then parts placed on the outside of the property fence line. And it was April 9th, 2024 when they found the body, when Brenner accepted plea deal, reduced charges, and yeah, so on. Hopefully that's summarised clear enough. The true motive behind it all could be down to jealousy, hatred, not liking being spoken down to in the moment, defensive of his horse, the horse gate being damaged possibly by Dylan, and so on. I just wanted to summarise that. Dylan is dead, yes. I hope his survival didn't really follow the case. Yeah, he was presumed dead in 2022 as June, July passed on. Yeah, George, that's what I was going to try and do. The call to Anthony Linares, because that was a bit more of a semi-casual conversation, and it's when on vacation, so the mood would have been a bit lighter and relaxed. Well, at least, so I've summarised the Dylan Rounds case in about 5 minutes or less, and it took, what, 2 to 4 years to cover or something? 2-3 years? So just to pause it, that is supposedly Alicia in the white pants. Not the best choice of clothing to be wearing if anything did go wrong, but that's irrelevant there. And supposedly on the floor is Caden Pressy's girlfriend at the time. If Caden Pressy was present, why would Caden let his girlfriend be pinned to the ground and not step in whatsoever? Very clear. Skeptical by nature, showing up shortly just after I talked about the Dylan Rounds case. Did I summon you, Skeptical? Big shout out to Skeptical, the kitty cat individual, part of the kitty cat gang. I remember that photo of the black cat watching my videos. That was good to see. Long time viewer, supporter as well. So that's supposedly Alicia pinning down Caden's girlfriend, but how do we know for certain? We can't see her face. Supposedly it's just her voice that gives it away. So I'll just play the audio to you and then you let me know if it sounds like her or not. It's so hot at the moment. We'll just listen in. Shut up, you noisy bitch. Trying to do a live stream, eh? Shit, I probably shouldn't have said that. Probably would have heard me. Sorry.
Fucking let go! Let go of my fucking hair, bitch! Let go!
Let go of my hair. So the one who's on top pinning the other person, the one that's pinned down is actually grabbing Alicia's hair. Is that supposedly it? There's a lot of wet marks on the ground. I don't know what the wet marks are. Someone pissed at themselves or did a drink spill? That's her in a drunk voice. Well, I've not seen Alicia in a drunk voice before. Tim, his ex-girlfriend, commented on this in Reddit. She confirmed it was her and she was throwing up sick. Wet is vomit. So that wetness on the ground is vomit. What's the motive for Alicia pinning Caden's girlfriend? What's the point of that? Why would they do that? Does anyone know where the video was taken of Alicia pinning Caden's girlfriend? A location, a parking lot. I do need to put the light on, but then at the same time, this bloody dodgy top what I'm wearing. How do I do it? I'll cover myself up. This looks very dodgy. Give me a second. Probably not too much is on show. There we go. I look like a complete idiot. Sorry about that. I'm doing it now. Oh, it's stuck to me now. At the time, she was apparently unmedicated bipolar. So would that explain it? In some ways, yeah. If any could see the face, that would help. So what would I say? Someone who could be like that, are they a danger or a threat to Noah Presgrove? Not linkable because Alicia wasn't at the party, so Noah wasn't in danger there. But just the attitude and the presence of someone that can be like that, it just doesn't look good, and that's mainly it. But the mention of supplying alcohol to an underage person or two doesn't look good either. Not in a position to be saying anything. Still, all this stuff doesn't link to the death of Noah, just make that clear as always. But in terms of kind of like a background review of someone besides Caleb, who was involved in the 2020 boating accident under the influence of alcohol and a 7-year-old girl fell into the water, chopped up with the propeller, not that good, is it? Besides that, which could be deemed as dodgy in some ways and suspicious, as some people claim, well then you've got Alicia with what's been done there, but one resulted in a death accidentally, the other one did not. But I guess it's that what if Alicia supposedly did give alcohol to someone of a younger age and it was spread about. And then if drunk and if drag racing, if that what if something went wrong and there was a car crash and then there was a death, would anyone get in trouble? Would they be off the hook or what? Would there be police corruption supposedly? Just take that off for now. So, hopefully that was okay. Alicia is someone's mother. Yeah, Caden Pressy party goer. Alicia the mother. Is there any comments? I'll just see if there's any comments, what people have had to say. All comments. I'm going to read them out on here, Facebook. Some person called Sherry Walker. So this woman is the prized source of trustworthy information for the Army page. I think it's time to go AWOL. Such a classy person they are. Jackie says, wow, real mature. Donna Bond, oh my God. Alicia, she is partying with these kiddos and then putting her hands on them. What the F? Now, for Alicia to supposedly be hanging out with a a younger demographic, if you want to put it that way. And I think, was it Mia that said, why would Alicia be doing something like that? I mean, Alicia, in her own words, audio based, you may have seen it already. Alicia, in her own words, said, why would anyone want to bang or have a banger with JJ Bumpaz? Why would Alicia even consider or think of that? George Choden says the PO document, protective order document, that was filed against Alicia and Scott is, in my opinion, much more bizarre. It gives a better understanding of many of Alicia's behaviours. It's a must-read document. If we're linking bipolar, if we're linking irrational thoughts, if we're linking erratic behaviour, doesn't link to Noah's death or justifies it or motivates, but it could link to the all over the place nature of Alicia doing the talking and bidding for Caden Pressey. A bit out of control, not absolutely with confidence, but as a suggestion theory. Is that a possibility, George? Tim Daniel, that's a creepy to give her bangability rating of her son's best friend. Bangability is, I've not heard that way of wording Tim before. But what Tim is getting at there is Alicia, in her own words, basically commented on who would want to have sexual encounters with JJ Bumpaz. Much older female talking about a much younger individual, Caden's friend. Cleo with a super chat. Warlike Ref, mind blown equals magic. Well, big shout out to Cleo there for supporting the channel. Much appreciated. Remember, Cleo, keep up the consistency and it should help with time. And as a heads up with the super chat and anything else down the line, put that towards upgrading the channel and maybe with live streams as well down the line. So that's positive to see, of course. Drug use, don't forget drug use. Social hosting has to be dealt with this case. Okay. Andrea Jubrov says, good lord, this is embarrassing. Mike Johnson, I'm surprised it's posted. The drag racing, the pinning down. I made a post on discussion. Oh, but yeah, we got a super chat train coming on in. Got to keep on top of it. Nice colours as well, nice colour term. Tim Daniel, thanks Raf for the very interesting parking lot clips. You're welcome, Tim. If there needs to be a follow-up, if there is any additional audio by Caden's ex-girlfriend, because I might be wrong, but something tells me in my mind that there was like a one minute something clip of Caden's girlfriend. Like there was a 36-second one, but then I don't know if there was like more audio clips, but there was only one tagged. But besides that, big shout out to Tim Daniel as well. Positive to see. But yeah, Mike Johnson, so some of the reasons behind the minimal blood and the scene itself has been pending for 2 days. So yeah, I don't know why some things are not allowed, but the information is out there for anyone to find if they look. Denise Rogers Arnold, it just doesn't show good parental guidance in my opinion. It's hard to watch a fully grown lady and a mother beat up her child's girlfriend. I'm sure it has nothing to do with Noah's case directly, but indirectly it says a lot to me personally. And Denise then responds to Rita, even though I can't see Rita's comment. I also, for a long time, believed that there was some truths in Caden Pressey's statement, although I still am concerned about his ability to remember or recall things accurately. Oh shit, what's come up on screen? Oh wow, we got Sherry Hellstrom back again, not seen them for a while. Just, oh my God, why is YouTube not letting me heart the comment? There we go. Big shout out to Sherry Hellstrom as well. Back to back to back. Big booms coming along. Claire Ref, good to know about Upgrade and you're welcome. Of course. What else do we have? I know some of his friends, Caden friends as well, and the few that have talked to me, volunteering, have stated that he always had an issue with exaggeration in his stories, no matter what the story is about. Oh my God. There we go. Big shout out to Skeptical by Nature, long time viewer, big time supporter from 2022 onwards. It's good that they're present once again, active. And shout out to Skeptical's cat as well, or cats if there's more than one. Right, so this is Denise Rogers Arnold, that supposedly some of Caden's friends have volunteered in some way and have stated that Caden's had an issue with exaggerating his stories at times, really, no matter what the story is about, as well as being a telltale type of guy. I don't know why his story has changed so much. I do agree that his mother has muddied the waters and given him a different storyline to follow, which has been difficult for him. I absolutely believe that Ellie is on the up and up, but I can guarantee you that this was not the only underage drinking party that was going on around the state, and until adults of these underage kids do the right thing by not letting their children first off participate, as well as reporting them at the time when they know it's happening, and the problem is going to continue. There was several parents as well as outside adults that were watching the Snapchats at the time, the party and the drinking with the underage kids that's going on. They also stood by and did nothing because they also had relatives there. Pretty sad situation. So there is a pull factor, as in you've got your own kids, your own people there at the party. Whether you knew before the party started there would be alcohol or not, you probably kind of expect that. Kids be kids, sneak behind the parents' backs, sneak some alcohol in here and there, be a bit reckless, be a bit wild. You kind of expect that, unless you might think your child is a very goody-goody two-shoe angel, but who do they associate with? Are they angels as well? Not always. But then if you do see Snapchat footage, you see what's really going on. Cleo says, hey, Strawberry and everyone, hope everyone's doing well. Yep, that's good to see. Good to see Strawberry. Good to see Cleo. You know, the pull factor is, if you have people that you know of that are at the party, and at some point you know that they probably shouldn't be there, at the same time you can't really call others out or do much. But then again, Justin Roy and some others, very vocal for the social hosting laws and charges, yet they had their own family members down at that party with alcohol. Oh, bloody hell, Strawberry. Hold on a minute. I for NI. What is this even about? Well, it's about true crime. It's about the Noah Presgrove case. I hope you're not reporting on a story in the USA. Don't you have enough BS to deal with in the UK? Well, to my knowledge, no. Big shout out to Strawberry with a massive super chat, super sticker, whatever you want to call it. Big strawberries all about. Full fruit bowl thrown at me. Very positive to see. I'll make you a tea afterwards, Strawberry. And a fruit salad as well. 29 people watching. That's also very good to see. Welcome. Tim Daniel, it's about an unfortunate accidental death in a small town turned on each other. What else do we have? Kelly Pounds, this has nothing to do with what happened to Noah. Also, this could be anyone, as there's no facial visuals. Fair enough. As far as I can see, it's two stupid females not acting their age, regardless of who it is. Not acting their age. Well, if it was Alicia supposedly of an older age, and then you've got Ken's girlfriend of a much younger age, one's probably acting a bit more their age than the other. Tracy says, Alicia's account is not everyone's gospel. Well, not speaking for everyone here, but meaning there are so many other questionable actions in suspicious circumstances. And is that it? Appears to be it for the comments there. That was 1 day ago by an anonymous member. Ooh, secretive. Did we have any additional posts in between? It's a bit quiet elsewhere in the pages, but of course, there's only so much you can post. Justice page, the official run one, has been quiet. Repost by Laura Dutton. Oh boy. The full horror of Oklahoma teen Noah Presgrove Daily Mail article. Oh god, I didn't want to click on it. Get me off. We've got Tim Daniel as well to do a post on the anterior transverse transphenoidal basilia skull. Oh my god. These terms, I'm not good at pronouncing them. Anything else? Not really. Joyce Bergow says, Happy Father's Day to Victor Presgrove, tagged, but 5 days ago that was. But Victor Presgrove is not a part of that group. Hinge fracture. And I believe Tim said one of his concepts is falling out of a vehicle. You don't have to, Tim, but if you wanted to summarize, Tim Daniel, did you want to just share your 3 other possibilities of what happened to Noah to cause, for example, that hinge? Right, I'll do that. I do want to stand up and stretch, but at the same time, this bloody top is a bit too revealing. Well, it's not. Maybe I shouldn't be talking because I'm not exactly an angel. What does that mean? I don't know. If you wonder what the hissing sound is, it's just a sprinkler outside. It's over there. Right, 31%. Okay, battery. I'll just turn this off. Maybe 2,200 hours. I might end it a little bit earlier tonight. We'll just see. I for an eye. I mean, you could talk about the Irish riots against Muslim takeover, say the things people in the media won't. That'll get your attention, my man. Well, the thing is, I for an eye. I've done my own videos in the past where I've mentioned about, yes, you can be in the UK, you can be in a certain place, and you might think, am I still in the UK or am I abroad somewhere? Says a lot, speaks volume. Reality is, I for an eye. Yes, people can come on over here, people can demand for things to be built, etc. You know, on and on. Take over. You go to their country and ask for a Christian church to be built, what's going to be happening? Beheaded, simple as. Yeah, it's a bit one-sided. That's just an example. We don't need to go any further past that point because you know where it can lead to. Brenda, Wallet Rev, Joyce also wished Victor Happy Father's Day on Justice Page, which acknowledged. Oh, well, that's good then, fair enough. Skeptical Bob. Oh no. Don't say the name. I think skeptical. Certain people from the Dylan Rounds case, channels have disappeared since. Natural selection, which is making a change, I guess. Let's just hope it happens elsewhere as well, where needed. Kisses to you, Strawberry, as well. Sorry, I missed that one before. Of course, I for an eye, you've got do-gooder policemen, policewomen that will be very hard and full-on when it comes to, you know, English people, but then when it comes to others, we'll be lenient. We don't want to use any force. We don't want to take any action because we'll in fear of being called a racist. It's just UK police are too soft. UK police too incompetent. Yeah, at times, some exceptions. Police US, a bit more action, a bit more full on when it's needed more. Anyway, I think you're cool, you agree, but bear around the bush. Beat around the bush. It's one of those things where, like with YouTube and elsewhere, you just got to use certain language and wording to be able to say it without the backlash. Canada is way worse. So, if anyone has any additional points specifically with the Noah Presgrove case or questions or theories, feel free to do so. What I'm going to do is just add in a possible theory which may not link in with the autopsy, right? But a motive based on the theory of some kind of murder or even maybe an accident gone wrong, gone too far. I'll add that in just a second. Soul Rebel, I noticed Jay Silvio's commented somewhere calling Kenny scattered brain and exaggerator. I wonder why. Well, Jay Silvio had something else to say about Kenny Veach in recent times, saying he's a bullshitter, basically. What's the latest LE information? Well, it may appear as a shock to you skeptical by nature, but the last time the LE kind of gave an update, I think was May of 2024. That was like kind of like newspaper articles releasing the autopsy, I think, around that time. Police haven't really said that much. Okay. So I'm not going to do a demonstration, don't worry. But in terms of the teabagging with what Noah Presgrove supposedly did after the shower, the questions would be, who did Noah Presgrove teabag and how did they take it and were they even aware? If it's around the time of when Caden was asleep, Brylin and Isaac were asleep, as Caden would claim, in a way. Mikey Lair, well, Mikey supposedly never went to sleep. So, if Mikey Lair never went to sleep, then what? Did Mikey Lair witness more? Possibly. Depending on who was teabagged, it can be seen as a disrespectful act. Yes, it can be a prank, but what, a prank gone wrong and someone didn't like that or retaliated back? But then again, you think it'd be instantaneous, as in, you got teabagged, how dare you chase after them, you chase them down and teach them a lesson, or you mess about and then it goes a bit too far. Well, the timing of the teabagging to then Noah sitting down, eating food, to then trying to get to bed and reaching out to Logan, supposedly, then Avery, and being turned down to sleep in the beds, and then an argument briefly, and then walking away. Seems a bit extended, that time, from the teabagging, anyone reacting, to then Noah getting on with other stuff, casually sitting down, eating, and then getting on with other things. Unless someone felt violated, someone felt disrespected and thought, you know what, I'll get my own back on Noah later when he doesn't expect it. But how? How exactly? Well, it can't be just run somebody over, because that'd be possibly considered a hit and run, and that's been ruled out. A vehicle landing on Noah. What, jumping a gap? Someone said in the past. Well, where would Noah be though, if a vehicle was to jump a gap? And what gap? And what bump? And what ramp? Where exactly? Any track marks? You don't really hear that reference mentioned. Footprints as well. No one really talks about footprints or track marks. Maybe because the ground was a bit dry and a bit hard. If the ground was moist, wet, could leave some footprints, traces behind, leave marks behind when it's wet. And that was the case with Dylan Rounds. Wasn't helpful enough, but if you could use footprints to track where Noah Presgrove ended up at, and if there was any footprints that followed after that, that would have been good, but too long gone by now. Possibly wasn't practical at the time if the ground was dry. Slight coating, dusting of dirt, leaving a faint print to be then blown away maybe a day after or so. They could give like a tiny little update. I think that could have gone a long way, to be honest. Right, so we're in at 2,200 hours. In terms of the points that I was going to share today and the main focus, I've got that all done now, so that's all good there. And shout out to everyone that's giving the super chats, super stickers, very positive to see. If anyone has any questions, you can post it right now in the live chat, and then we'll go from there. If not, I'll eventually do a bit of a countdown and then rest. Mia, have they tracked the cell phone locations of everyone involved on the night? Well, there's that mention of GeoNet, geofence, a lot of talk about it, and supposedly police have it, but not Caden's, because Caden says police never took his phone. Alicia, the mum, says the police had his phone and was able to back up reinforce to 5:15 timestamp. Yet Caden says police never took it. They've never verified it. So that's weird, isn't it? But the geofence or the GeoNet, none of it's been released public, so we're in the dark about it, really. A person called C, welcome. I just saw you alive. What did I miss a picture? If you're able to rewind back, we're looking at a audio to Ken Pressey's ex-girlfriend, speaking out, calling out Alicia, supplying supposedly alcohol to underage people. Caden's brother doing the same. Drag racing as well. Caden's mom racing younger people in a parking lot. And supposedly Alicia pinning down Caden's girlfriend and possibly Caden allowing it to happen. You're welcome. See, I do have a full playlist on the Noah Presgrove case if you want to check it out on my channel, or if there's any other cases, Kenny Veach or ASMR or some other bits and bobs, they'll be there. Does Ellie physically need Caden's cell for a geofence? I personally don't know, but the hype at the talk was all about Caden's timeline of 5:15 needing the phone data. I watch you all the time. That's really positive to know. Watching along. Big shout out. Still got more videos to come in some ways on the case itself of Noah Presgrove. Doing some Kenny Veach short clips here and there to archive the material. Might do a full format video just to definitely archive it in case it ever gets deleted elsewhere, just in case. Or maybe just for the time being, I hold on to the footage, which is Kenny's own video, basically. And then if it ever gets deleted, then I could possibly upload it onto my channel. We'll just see. Shouldn't be any issues with copyright. If there was issues with copyright, well then you'd think Kenny Veach is secretly behind his YouTube channel watching then. So it's one way to monitor any dodgy behavior there, right? It's all about archiving it because things can disappear quick, right? Gotta be careful, gotta be quick. C, you are doing a great job keeping Noah's memory alive. Appreciate that. I know there was other people covering the case at some point on and off, but then people ended up dropping off, stepping back, walking away for whatever reason. Maybe because there's only so much to cover, to talk about. I would say it's definitely slowed down in recent time, but, you know, it's understandable. You can't expect it to be full on all the time. There's only so much you can work with. So it's about being realistic, grounded, and then here and there filling in the gaps with ideas. We've got big support from Cleo with a big super chat, much appreciated to Cleo, thank you. With almost like, is that like a cat or a dog or something? A samurai waving a flag. Some very creative, good visuals on YouTube when it comes to the super stickers. I think they're the animated ones. So really positive tonight in the live stream. And, you know, when things like this happen, obviously it's big positive. It also is kind of like a bit of like a heads up and acknowledgement that, you know, live streaming can work just as well, maybe a bit better than live premieres. And with incorporating a second device, it enables me to show you stuff or for me to see things beside the screen. Because if you didn't know, when it comes to live streaming on YouTube, specifically mobile live streaming, what you see is what I see, my face, unfortunately. No, but that's all that can be shown. If I tried opening a different app and said, right, here's Google Earth, here's Facebook, you're not going to see that. If I open up a different application, it's going to kick me out of my own live stream, and then I won't be able to end the live stream, and it'll be in a continuous loop or so. That happened once in the past when I tried sharing my own live video elsewhere, and it kicked me off, which is a bit silly. So I don't touch anything anymore, keep it as it is. But with using the second device, there's a level of control in what you can look at and then what you can relay onto the screen, and I think that works better. I know some people may use StreamYard and other services where they can show the face on screen and then have other things up on the side, documents, papers, screenshots, files and all that. But to be honest with you, out of privacy reasons, it just seems, I don't know, you know, if you had photos of plants, you had photos of people you know of, friends and stuff like that, whatever, and you're live streaming and you're trying to go through what's on screen, and I don't know, it just feels like when you're doing a pre-recorded video, if you're going through whatever, and it spazzes out the phone, or an app closes, or it goes to the home screen, and you think, oh no, it's ruined it. You can edit it out, right? But a live stream, you can't. So you want it to be as perfect as possible, but it might not always be. I don't know, it just feels awkward doing it that way. So having a secondary device near to me, which I can show on screen here and there, that's more practical, I would say. In terms of a laptop, I think it would actually fit on this windowsill if I perch it on. Maybe do the live stream from the laptop and then use the actual main phone to look at everything, to look at the live chat, because I know the live chat disappears on screen often. I know some people, when they do live streams, they probably have 5, 6 different devices all at once, which is a bit crazy. I was pushing it once when I had the phone doing a live stream, secondary device doing the research and relaying points, and then a third device watching live stream football that one time recent. But, you know, you're welcome. I mean, good advice. Appreciate that, Cleo. You keep up yourself, Cleo. Appreciate that. So is there any other forms of accidents that Noah could have been caught up in? You know, like if you was to go back to the whole golf club scenario, being whacked in the head accidentally, is that even possible? Whacked once, possible. But due to the extent of injuries, and besides the hinge, any other injuries which could be caused, may not absolutely, but could in some way, it becomes less of an accident. Like with, if you do an accidental discharge of a firearm once or twice, depending what type of gun it is as well, in the firearm itself. If it's like a single shot bolt action, you got to cock it back and then fire, an accidental discharge into someone could happen. But then if you fired the gun again, it would mean you have to cock it back again and manually possibly press the trigger, so it's less of an accident, more intent. If you accidentally whack someone in the head, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I just whacked you in the head. Let me accidentally do it again. Oh, one more time for good luck. Accidentally, of course. No. Welcome to anyone else that has joined along. If you want to rewind back earlier to the video clips audio of Alicia and a fight and all that, feel free. Got to be careful with the language and wording, of course. C says, didn't Jack say Noah's phone and Jack's phone both pinged at the same place, right where Noah's body was recovered? That's why he took a lie detector test. Well, supposedly that's the motive in regard to Jack, to make sure he wasn't hiding anything, to clear things up. But it wasn't Noah's phone that pinged. Noah left his main phone, his new phone at the time, at the party. And it was retrieved eventually. His old phone, I think, was at family-related member's house or so. So Jack's phone supposedly pinged near to where Noah's body was found out, but the reasoning behind it, from what Jack said, from what he was told by police relaying it onto whoever in a DM, is because of bad signal out there. A bad signal can misplace you where you are. In terms of the ping, it can do it inaccurately. But the problem is, see, if it's down to bad signal, it'd be interesting to know where the phone pinged at when Tyler Hardy made his first call, which was a failed call, static, to the dispatcher because there was a bad signal. Well, if there's a bad signal, then where Tyler Hardy was at the scene, his phone should then have pinged elsewhere in the wrong area, if that's what happened to Jack Newton as well, right? But we never really found out. Strawberry says, amazing subscribers and members. Strawberry says, don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Appreciate that, Strawberry. Cleo, he left his phone at the party. Correct. Cleo, I doubt they had a bad signal. In fairness, there could be a bad signal because it being a rural area. I myself, in my situations, at times with communication, terrible signals, audio cutting in and out, robotic voices and all kinds of shit happening where I'm like, I can't quite hear. I'm trying to keep up with the conversation. Can't quite understand. Could you repeat that again? It happens. Not much you can do about it. I'm not even in a rural area. I'm not in like you know, being in a decent area. I'm not in a rural area, and yet still the signal can be dodgy. So you think of rural Oklahoma near to Terrell, not many cameras about. Wi-Fi, if it does exist, probably going to be a bit more limited, isn't it? So, but does a bad signal justify an incorrect phone ping? I wouldn't know myself. Some person called Squares Manic Cam, welcome. Hi, I'm from Missouri. I'm watching you from my twin bed. What's a twin bed? Is that a bunk bed or is it a double bed, like a king size bed or something? Brenda, I doubt any technology lines are up to date in Terrell. ATT didn't even gone fibre in Warwick a few years ago. Oh, okay. I mean, ultimately, if there was a camera at the spot of where Noah's body was found out, if there was a camera pointing right there, maybe I can do it as a poll tomorrow. Twin is a HQ. What's a HQ? HQ, underground base. Twin is a half bed. What, like a single bed? One pillow, so like one person sleeps in the bed. Well, anyway, welcome Squares. Interesting profile picture you've got. George Choden, 39 by 72. Is that measurements of a bed? Are you a bed fitter? What the fuck's going on there? Or is that something else mentioned? But just as a question, I don't know if I can do it as a poll. Sorry, my hand's all in the way. I don't know where the poll option is, so I'm not going to try that. Make sure live chat's all on. But Strawberry, I have a king size bed. Well, that's good to know. Tim Daniel, your grandparents pushed two twins together. Okay. Interesting. What was I going to say? So as a question, if a camera was on the highway and it was pointing at the spot where Noah's body was to be found, if that camera recorded everything there from start to finish, would the case have been solved by now? Mia, me too, Strawberry. Lots of room for my 100-pound mastiffs. Oh, bloody hell. 100 pound. At least we can confirm Warlike Raf is not a dog because I'm not 100 pounds. I weigh nearly 200. Strawberry, Raf, your eyes. Fucking hell. At what point? At what mention? Yeah, the fitting of this really is dodgy. I'm looking at the reflection there. I definitely don't look like Wolverine, for sure. Definitely don't. Yeah, I definitely do not look like Wolverine whatsoever. That's gone wrong there. Cleo, I don't want my queen bed anymore. Wish for a twin bed nowadays. Fair enough. They're giant, cuddly fur babies. Okay. Oh shit. When I was doing dog barking earlier, hopefully it didn't wake your dogs up, Mia. There was a time in the past, well, a few occasions where I would bark like a dog. Not that it's a regular occurrence what I do. I don't normally bark like a dog. I don't get on all four knees now. But sometimes when I've randomly done it, it's ended up startling, waking up other people's pets, viewers and whatnot. Don't think it's worked well with the cats. I don't think I've like done like a cat sound and then it's woken up a cat or it's brought a cat closer to the screen. Strawberry, I would cuddle them in bed. For me, I'll stick with cats. They didn't hear you. Well, that's good then. Probably didn't bark loud enough. That's all good there. Okay, so is that definitely off? Yeah, it is. So hopefully it made some sense, that earlier stuff with the Alicia Lee situation. Try to be careful with the wording. In terms of the video that I did earlier on, the pre-recorded one to do with Michael Facecast, there's a bit more context to that, and Michael is giving context. Whether people believe it or not, fair enough, but I'll just do an update to that tomorrow just to type some loose ends. They'd love to cuddle up with you. Ooh. At least we've not had any flies or anything getting on in. That's a positive. Starting to get just a little bit warm, and that's with the window open, which is a bit concerning. I don't think is there any point in sleeping tonight? Probably not. I might try sleeping. I'll probably get up at some point, and then I'll just probably sit downstairs and stare at the wall or something. Because trying to sleep is just more torture, to be honest. Try and pass some time or something, doing something, watch TV maybe. Anyway, I've basically caught up there with the case and little updates along the way. It is getting very hot in here, so I might end the live stream shortly. Probably do a little countdown, and then if there's any additional points. Anti-strawberry. Oh my god. Okay. So I'll do a countdown now. And if there's any final points, any final questions, feel free to drop them below. Is there not central heat or air conditioning in UK? There might be, but it's not as common or popular because the heat isn't all year round or that often. When it's present, it's bad, but most of the time it's not like that, so it's not really needed. And practically money-wise, not really needed. Still can't believe all the phones were wiped. So odd. Well, we don't know for certain if they were wiped or not. It's what Robin said from what she was told by police. There was a nice breeze just coming in then. Maybe it might get a bit better. Anyway, I'll start to begin the countdown now. Shout out, credit to those that have watched along the way. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, take care Brenda, 7, 6, 5, Tammy Beamer, in fact, did Jack and Caleb pass out Noah's belongings? I've never seen any hard evidence to back it up, so who knows? Take care, Classy and Mia. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there we go. So, should be able to get a video done tomorrow. Hopefully it's not as hot. And if not tomorrow, day after, tie up some loose ends and bits and bobs of what I can do, and go from there. And yeah, big shout out to everyone that has watched and stuck around, and those in the background as well. And for those that supported the channel tonight, all good to see. Thank you everyone, have a blessed night. Take care, Cleo, sleep well, and yeah, that's it. Goodbye.